let's move on the concept of the flow of childhood. This concept connects cultural and historical psychology and positive psychology. Csikszentmihalyi is the most quoted author who has written about flow. The flow is a state of mind in which a person is fully engaged in what they are doing, is characterized with active concentration, and is fully involved in the process of activity. Csikszentmihalyi has often identified the state of flow as a happiness. Csikszentmihalyi diagrammatically represents the conditions of flow in the coordinate frame, where skill is on the horizontal and the complexity of the task is on the vertical. The flow is represented as a winding curve running between two borders. The bottom border divides the region in the right-hand side of the diagram where the person assumes that they already know tasks which are perceived as being too simple or routine. This makes the person bored. Upper border divides the zone of the left corner where tasks that a person finds extremely difficult, impossible, or worrisome are found. The tasks from this area trigger a feeling of fear. Only the tasks between the described boundaries cause a state of flow, a state of excitement because the task is difficult but interesting, involves not a finished sample but a search of a solution to a situation of the bearable uncertainty, which does not scare but rather bringing a state of creativity and tone. Let's now compare Csikszentmihalyi's definition of the flow state with Vygotsky's zones of actual and proximal development. Do you remember when we talked about the zone of proximal and actual development at the very beginning of the lecture? Can you also notice this? It looks like Vygotsky as well as Csikszentmihalyi described the same phenomenon. What do you think about it? Let me know your opinion in the comment section or email. And now let's take a quick look at those 10 characteristics of people in flow provided with Csikszentmihalyi. Let's have a quick glance of what's in yellow, especially position 6 and in position 8. Life is full of meaning. A person can imagine being to create a new reality. A person forgets the fact of their existence, the fact of existence of self. A sense of time disappears, creativity. They do not pay attention to external signals, forget to eat, and even if they are tired, they do not respond to body signals as if the body is disappearing. Life seems to temporarily stop, spontaneous but automatic process. This is what happens to children when they play or paint or sculpt, doing what they really want to do. Integral state of person. When you do everything you can and are in the flow during the activity. Of whom are you reminded of by this description? The first time I read the description, I saw my children busy with something they are interested, for example, in while they are playing. It seems that we are indeed all dealing with the same phenomenon or state. The state that many people seek to reach as an adult has been called happiness or flow. The state of pure interest, delight, contentment, joy and happiness that is familiar to us from our childhood. We can use any age periodization instead of this blue ladder, but I choose Elkonin's periodization because it was developed within Leontiev's activity-based approach. We talked about this before. And because this periodization contains the leading activities and age-related neoplasms. And I combine those three schemes and we get the concept of flow of childhood. The flow of childhood, this is a process and the space at the same time of growing up, in which the child develops their own full-fledged personality, relying on what they already have and expanding the boundaries of their capabilities according to age. The mechanism of expanding the child's capabilities are interests, ideal, and character. And the flow of childhood itself is limited to tasks from the areas of proximal development. If we imagine this as a metaphor, the flow of childhood is the first a creek, then a river with banks. The banks restrict, direct, and stimulate the flow, while at the same time providing sufficient space for the personality development of those who travel along this river to the ocean of possibilities in adulthood. And one more interesting point, while preparing this lecture, I reread Vygotsky 1931 Kharkiv paper and could hardly believe my eyes. I had not seen this before. That happens occasionally. You are looking on something, but you do not notice, do not see this. Now let's have a quick glance at Vygotsky's essay in the problem of speech and thinking of Piaget's theory. Psychology owes a great deal to Jean Piaget. He revolutionized the study of child language and thought. Piaget focused on the distinctive characteristics of children's thinking, on what the child has, not on what he lacks. Thanks to such a positive approach, he demonstrated that the difference between children's and adults' thinking was qualitative rather than quantitative. Therefore, it was Vygotsky who noted that Piaget had been the first person who had seen the childhood in a positive perspective and changed the way we understood and treated children.